What's up, beautiful people? My name is Joe and I'm a tattoo artist based in the south coast of the UK. Today I'm going to be talking about what to expect on the day of your tattoo appointment, when you get there, what's going to happen, and hopefully that will help your anxiety levels a little bit. So grab a cuppa and get comfy. I've also done a video on how to prep for your tattoo, so if you haven't watched that, please give that one a watch first, and that'll help you with how to book, how to choose your design, your artist, and how to prepare your body for the experience. But today we're going to talk about the actual day of you coming to get your tattoo. First things first, please be on time. And that also means don't be early. Maybe you could be 5 minutes early, that's fine. But anything over that, you might mess up the tattooist's lunch break, or they might still be tattooing, or I'm taking the dog for a wee. I will probably panic and I'll probably feel a little bit stressed if you're over 5 minutes early. And if you're late, well, no. Let your tattoo artist know as soon as possible if you think you're going to be late. Some artists let you get away with sort of 15 minutes, but anything over that, you're going to throw the whole day off. Like, I sometimes tattoo 5 people, and if I've got you booked in at 11 and I have someone else in at 12 and then someone after that, if you're half an hour late, I've got to message all those people and tell them to move, and nobody needs that extra admin. Once you arrive at your tattoo studio, you will probably, hopefully, have to fill out a consent form. I send out my consent forms with my booking confirmation just so you've got an idea of what I'm going to ask you and you know what you're getting yourself into, basically. It's also on my website as well, so you can have a look and check out the questions that I ask. Please let your artist know if there's anything they should be aware of, whether that's on the form or anything else. Whether you have ADHD, whether you have autism, whether you are just generally quite anxious about the whole situation, just let your artist know and hopefully they can accommodate you in any way that will help you. Once you are here, you will see the design. Hopefully you've seen it before, but maybe you've seen it for the first time and you are over the moon with it. Maybe there's a couple of little tweaks that need to be done because the artist has suggested them because of perhaps where the placement is, and something needs to be changed just to make it fit your body better, or something that you have thought about and you want to get changed. Little tweaks, absolutely fine to do on the day. Also, adjustments in size. As long as it's not too far off what you originally wanted, then we can print out different sizes or flip the image. That's not a problem. If you come in and want it double, triple the size of what you originally asked for, then that's going to take a little bit longer than what the artist has assumed, and that's probably not okay. Just let them know as soon as you can beforehand so they can make any adjustments to their schedule if they can. If not, you might need to come back and finish it off another time. Check the design on the paper once it's been printed out, especially if it's writing. I'll freak out doing writing because my spelling is not the best and I'm very worried about spelling. So check it, triple check it, quadruple check it, Google it, make sure it's all right, make sure the design is right on the bit of paper, and that can be changed. Please listen to your tattoo artist when it comes to placement and size, because somewhere that you want it might actually work a little bit better somewhere else. And again, with the size, if you want it teeny tiny, the tattoo artist might recommend just going slightly bigger because over time the lines might go into each other or something like that. Listen to us. Then it is time to prepare your skin. A clean and a shave, the highlight of my day. Don't get weirded out because you need to get shaved. Everyone needs to get shaved. Everyone has hair. Most people have hair. Some people don't have hair, and that's totally fine and normal as well. You are all accepted here. I use medical soap and alcohol, and that is to get rid of all the bacteria. Also, shaving is to get rid of bacteria. Little bacteria clings to the hairs, and that is not very clean, so I get rid of the hairs. Also, when I do like fine lines and stuff, the carbon actually sticks to the hair if it's not all shaved, and that messes up the design slightly, so it's gotta go. Please don't do it yourself. I'm used to shaving people. I shave a lot of people. It's something that I do. You're probably not used to shaving your arms or your elbow or whatever, and might cut yourself. Please don't wax yourself either, or if you do it a good couple of days before, because you'll probably end up with spots and bumps and things. If you're not used to waxing yourself, just don't bother, I'll shave you. Once your skin is nice and clean and decontaminated, the artist will then get your carbon ready. And basically, this is a transfer that will go onto your skin. And generally it's purple, but some people have different colours. We'll put some cream on your skin to make it actually stick to your skin. At this point, please do not move. If you move your arm whilst the carbon is on, you're going to mess up the lines. The lines will move. Keep super still whilst this process is happening. And then once the artist says, okay, you can move, go and check it in the mirror. Don't look around whilst all this process is happening because it's really annoying. The carbons also tend to be a simplified design to what you're having, unless it is just a line drawing and then that is the design. But if it is something a little bit more complex, like a portrait for example, you're not going to see like a photo on your skin. It will just be the highlights of where really important bits are that we will use as guidance, and we'll probably have a photograph as the reference. So please don't get freaked out if you see the carbon, it doesn't look anything like the design. We've got it in our minds. Don't worry about it. So once the carbon is on, you'll get asked to go and check it in the mirror. Please take your time with this and have a really good look. Generally, as soon as you get to the mirror, you'll have a gut feeling of whether it's right or you want it moved. And it's not a problem to have it moved. Please don't be scared. Your artist might be a bit huffy puffy. I'm not, because I'm terrified of tattooing someone and them not being happy with where it is. I want you to be happy with it, it's going to be there forever. Don't feel bad about wanting to move it. Please do not touch the carbon once it is on, because it will rub it, it will distort it. Also, your hands aren't clean and the area is sterile now, so it will all have to get done again. And that's a little bit annoying, especially if the carbon is in exactly the right place. The carbon then needs to dry, and depending on how complex the design is, it depends how long it's going to take to dry. Like a more simple design will only take a couple of minutes, whereas if it's a large piece with lots and lots of lines on, it would probably take about 15 minutes to really stick to your skin. Because a nightmare for us is if the carbon comes off midway through the tattoo. So be patient, try not to touch it, keep still, let it dry. And this is a good time for you to get set up. If you need the toilet, if you've got anything that you've brought with you for a distraction, get that out, lay it up nicely, get prepared mentally, take a couple of deep breaths, and your artist will probably be doing the same, getting set up. I actually set up before my clients turn up because it's my little ritual that I like to do on my own before anyone else is there. But your artist might choose this time to set up their station, so feel free to relax for a minute. Everything that I use is single use. I use EcoTact Pro instead of cling film, which is a plastic-free alternative to make everything nice and sterile and hygienic. And I also use vegan inks. Your tattoo artist will then probably call you over and say, come and have a seat, I'm ready for you. They'll instruct you with how to get on the chair or what position that they want you to get in. Don't worry about getting on the bed or getting on wrong. If you see my short about how to get on the tattoo bed incorrectly, I've seen a few ways of getting on the tattoo bed and none of them are wrong. Some of them are interesting, but just go with confidence, get your butt on the chair. If you are someone that is prone to fainting, whether you've got your ears pierced and felt a bit funny or a blood test or anything like that, tell your artist and they might lay you down instead of being sat up. Most of the time people prefer being sat up, but if you are prone to fainting, you're probably better off being horizontal. Some of the positions that you get asked to sit in might seem really awkward and uncomfortable. We try and make it as best for you as possible. However, this is just kind of a one-off for you and we do it all day, every day. So the priority is us and our backs and necks and hands and everything. And I will still get into some pretty weird positions like this. However, if I ask you to be in a bit of an uncomfortable position for a few minutes or maybe an hour, it's better than me going to see a chiropractor every day of the week. Once everyone is in position and ready, your artist hopefully will warn you before they start tattooing. I say, right, here we go, are you ready? I'm going to do a little line to start with, I'm going to check on you, make sure you're all right, and then we'll be off. And most people say, oh, is that it? And this is the point that you've been dreading, the pain. What is it like? What do I expect? It's very hard to explain. Pain is relative, everyone's different, and yes, they do hurt a bit, but they're bearable, you'll be fine. The artist should check on you every now and again just to make sure if you're alright, if you need a stretch, a toilet break or a drink or anything. If you feel like you need a break and they haven't asked, then just let them know and I'm sure that's absolutely fine. They might just say, oh, let me just finish this little bit, then you can have a break. It depends on what you're having as to how long it's going to take. Obviously, the small, simple designs do not take very long at all. For example, a word or a couple of words will take 15 minutes or so, whereas a full thigh piece will probably take all day at least, maybe a couple of day sessions. With the smaller designs, generally the artist will go over the design once, give you a wet wipe, and then check to see if any other little bits need to be touched up, and that's it. When you have something more complex, a bigger design, the artist will probably start from the bottom, going up through the top, getting some of the detail in, marking out the main features, giving you a wipe and then going back over it and then potentially back over it a third time with more shading. That is slightly more painful. It is amazing what our bodies can cope with. Our skin heals itself. we're magic. So as much as you are going to probably feel a little bit nervous and anxious, your body will cope just fine. With the bigger sessions, make sure to take a few breaks, eat something throughout the session, and that will help with the healing process and give you a bit of energy for the tattoo. Adrenaline will kick in at the start. You'll feel quite hot, find it a little bit hard to relax, and after a little while, your body will kind of go into a meditative state. You'll get used to the situation. Your body's like, right, okay, this is what's happening. Let's just settle into it, and everything will get a little bit easier. And after maybe 3 or 4 hours, depending on what you're having and where, it will reverse and go back the other way, and it will get more and more painful the longer you go on. Don't be afraid to tell your artist that you've had enough, although I'm pretty sure they'll be aware. You might feel a bit sweaty, you might get a bit cold. The actual tattoo is probably going to feel quite hot and sore. And even the muscle in the area that you're getting tattooed might feel a bit sore underneath. Please sit still for your tattoo, because it makes our lives really hard. If you're moving, it'll take a bit longer and it won't look as good. So do your best to sit still. At no point touch your tattoo during the tattoo process, because as I said at the start, your hands are not clean and you're touching an open wound, and we don't want a risk of infection. So at no point whilst your tattoo is healing, basically, to touch your tattoo with dirty hands. When you get towards the end of the tattoo, you're going to start getting more wet wipes. Hopefully, and not dry wipes, because dry wipes are horrible. Hopefully a tattoo artist will use some medical soap and wipe the area, and it will feel really cold. Some people love it, some people hate it. This might feel a little bit sore, and once it's finished, you're going to get another good wipe just to get the excess ink off, any dry blood, anything like that. That needs to go so you can see the crisp tattoo, and if there's any bits that need to get filled in. Your artist will then say, well done, you're finished. Go and have a look in the mirror. So get up slowly, especially if you've been laying down for quite a long time, and then go and have a look in the mirror. Hopefully you love it. And don't be afraid to say you love it, because it's nice to hear. Although if your tattoo artist is a bit big-headed, play it cool. But if it's me, tell me you love it. Also, check if there's any bits that you want just darkened up or filled in, or any white highlights, any little bits that you're like, oh, can you just do that whilst you're there? It won't take long, hopefully. Everything's set up and ready, so tell your artist whilst you're there, because you might get charged if you leave and go, oh, I wish I'd said that, and then you call up and say, oh, can I get this done? They'll be like, yeah, but it's the minimum charge again. Whereas if you're there and already set up, they won't charge you anymore. And yes, it will feel sore. It'll feel pretty horrendous at this stage, but 2 minutes of a couple of little bits that you're like, okay, now I'm 100% happy with it, is better than going home and going, oh, I wish I said that. After a few minutes, checking it in the mirror, you're probably gonna get wiped again. Another cold, super sore wipe. Be prepared for that, just to get rid of any blood or plasma that might be seeping from your tattoo. Please don't be offended if we do not take a photo, or if we do take a photo and don't post it on Instagram. There's numerous reasons for this. One of my main ones is the light is reflecting off the tattoo and it ruins the photo. But if you want to get a photo, ask your tattoo artist to take a photo of your tattoo, because they've got the right lighting, and you don't have to get yourself in an awkward position to take a photo of your tattoo and show your mates, because they'll be like, what is it? I don't know. Get a professional to do it. Then it's time for you to get wrapped up. Hopefully your tattoo artist will wrap it in something to protect it from any dirt or dust getting in your tattoo. I will give you another wipe, sorry. Then I'll put a little bit of tattoo balm on it. I use Diablo Aftercare, which is vegan and locally made by this lovely man, Mark. Thanks, Mark. And then I'll wrap you in a bit of cling film, and you're supposed to leave that on for around an hour, and then take it off, give it a wash to get rid of any dry blood or plasma-y, gooey stuff. Lovely. Use some kitchen roll to dry it, and then leave it. I have done a video on aftercare, so please check that video out. Don't forget to pay your tattoo artist for giving you a piece of art that will stay with you forever and ever and ever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.